town. I'm the one you call when you need a chin up or down. I'm a tin rattle man, I'm working all day, getting those stakes in the ground no matter what they say. From sunrise to the night, I make sure everything's right. Yeah, I'm a tin rattle man, I'm working all day.
Welcome back for another episode of Under the Vinyl. This is a rental management media podcast. Got a good tailgate talk for you guys today. Mid-busy season. As always, I got Kyle on. Kyle, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great, Nate. It's good to see you. It's been a little bit. Haven't really seen you since.
It has. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but I've talked to you enough. I know that.
I think we might talk too much, but we can. My wife's starting to get jealous, but that's fine.
A lot of sub rentals going back and forth. I'm liking it. It. It means we're doing something right. But we also got Kevin with Made in the Shade on, as always, our special guest. Kevin, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. I'm great. It's good to see you guys. I see you guys via text. I never get to see your faces, except for when I'm watching YouTube videos of interviews and all that good stuff.
Well, it's good to see your face too. And I'm glad you could get up super early, as I know we were texting and it was 5 a.m. your time, and it's still, 8 o'clock maybe?
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. I love it. It's great to just wake up to my phone vibrating at the early hours of the day, and you guys are already starting to get knee deep into your day, and I'm starting mine. So it's always a good little alarm clock, a good wake up call for me. So
10 talk
yeah,
never stops, baby. Never stops.
It never does. No.
But we got some good stuff here today. So yeah, let's just dive right in. So today we're going to hit on a little bit of safety stuff with all this safe tending stuff coming out with ARA, and some good direction that we're going with that, and everybody getting that out there. We've been seeing a lot of social media stuff on just people posting pictures, content, things like that, Instagram, Facebook, and other things. And I think it's just time to call them to the fire. We've
mentioned names,
but we've all gone about it in certain ways over time. And I think through the years, that everybody has started to produce, everybody's quality's been good, but, just the quality of safety on the sites with who's representing the company and what they're doing. And now that stuff is now getting out there and being posted, when we're all trying to come together as an industry and make this the safest industry, but also get our name out there that this is a hot industry to get into. And it's just tougher when you see these stuff online. And we were talking about it last night in our group chat with Kevin and Kyle, and what are you guys doing, or what are you seeing right now?
Well, to me, Nate, this whole industry in terms of safety is reactive versus proactive. And I think we're getting ahead of that now with this safe tenting initiative that's come out, and the associations all working towards certifications and just pushing safety. But it's crazy to me, this stuff. Like, if I was an insurance agent, I would just follow the companies that I insure on Facebook, and that's the first thing I would do, is just look and see if they're actually as safe as they say they are on their application, things like that. But it's crazy that people in the world of social media still let the stuff get out there. Am I saying I'm 100% perfect all the time? No. I am smart enough to know that should not be posted when I have to do right now. Or, hey, don't do that and get that off social media right away. But people are just putting it out there, and it's almost like they don't care. And it's big companies that do it is what kills me.
Yeah. A lot of it comes down to also
big companies.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of it comes down to, where this was, when I attended my first Matra in 2013, and it was like, you saw some hard hats, you saw some safety vests here and there. Now, it's all required whenever we go to these shows now and all that. And I think, you start getting into this safety aspect and the safety thought process, and then complacency starts after a couple years, right? Like, oh, nothing's ever happened. I can take off my hard hat and hang this wall, or do I really need to take that extra step, or should I go get that ladder that's a little bit taller, or I can do it with this one and just be on the top step. So sometimes I think that's what we see, is some complacency, of course, and that's what happened. And then that's when things can occur, is when you just let things go and just, I don't want to say take shortcuts, but kind of take those things where it's like, well, nothing's happened, so I can just do this real quick.
Oh,
This episode of Under the Vinyl is brought to you by Anchor Industries, a fifth-generation, family-owned company making tents and clear span structures right here in the U.S. of A.
Anchor isn't just about selling great products. They bring decades of experience and stand beside you as the business grows. With Anchor's craftsmanship and engineering, you'll have a peace of mind knowing your equipment is built to last season after season.
And for the next generation of rental owners and installers, Anchor is more than just your supplier. They're a trusted partner helping guide you to the right products to help grow your business.
Give them a call today to connect with your sales rep, 1-800-544-4445, or visit anchorinc.com.
Well, Kevin, I've been to a lot of companies. I talked to a lot of people in the industry. By far, I'd say you're probably one of the safest companies that I've come across in the industry. Do you notice it's slowing down production at all? Because that's usually what you hear is, well, if I do this, I'm going to save 10 minutes or an hour.
Yeah.
Cutting corners.
Oh yeah. I mean, we deal with a safety consultant. We've been working with him for the last 6 years, and they've really helped us get to where we are now. And also, working with you, Kyle, working with you, Nate, like working with you guys and kind of going back and forth about what's a good practice and what's not. Then, there's the safe tenting aspect that we were just talking about earlier. We can get into it later. But there is a point where efficiency is sacrificed for too safe, and that can happen. And, we're not the bubble boys. We're not just living in this bubble to do these things. We're construction workers. We have to do things with our hands. We have to move around. We have to be in awkward positions. So, we did notice that our efficiency and our workload was kind of getting tight, because we were doing things way above and beyond from what we needed to do at that point. So there is that fine line and that balance. Like, yeah, do it safe, do it right, or don't do it at all is of course the sayings, but that doesn't mean that you should just let that job bleed out and take forever and take breaks all the time and all that. Like, be smart about it and do it where it makes sense to everyone and all that.
I remember, I'll never forget this phone call I got from you, Kevin. You're like, well, Kyle, it officially happened. And I was like, what was that? He's like, I think we are too safe. The guys wanted to take like a scissor lift to go put up a 40 wide frame tent.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Absolutely. But I mean, I even think it goes, we've got two different aspects here. I think we have job site safety and how you're building things and just overall structure of building. And then I think becomes your PPE and your overall safety and things like that. Perfect example, vest in the workplace. We implemented that to where everybody needs to be wearing a vest when you're on the grounds and walking around there. And our theory on that was, and I think I've hit this before, is when they get in the truck, then it's already on, or they think about it that it's already on. And when they get out to the job site, it's not even a thought. It's just natural that it becomes put on. It's already on. Because I think we had a lot of times where guys we'd tell them they had to be wearing safety vests, and then we send a project manager out and they're not wearing a safety vest, or even the hard hat. And so getting in the routine to have it on at all times, it just becomes natural. And I think when you're on the site, hell, even Kyle's wearing his right now as he's sitting in his office. I think you do the same thing there, Kyle. So, just the little PPE things.
I open my door, I am in the warehouse. So I just, when I get in the morning, first thing that goes on, and I have it on all day. So
yeah, yeah, and
I think from there, the PPE is one of those things where that is a whole safety. But what now we're seeing is, and I'm just going to jump right into it, is the social media stuff where these companies, if you have a garden tent, figure out a way to not put your guy on the damn tent top. They cannot be climbing on top of the tops. I understand that people in the past, we have had to climb 60 wide center poles to drop extension cords down the middle and everything else. But as it goes right now, we cannot do that anymore. There's too many eyes on our industry as a whole with everything going on.
We can, Nate. There's a safe way to do it.
Safely. Right.
You can tie someone off to rope. You can do it safely. But
Right, but a lot of these pictures that we're seeing, especially on these garden tents down, I know that it's garden tent specific, or your atrium or your levo, whatever you're calling them. It's these guys that can't figure out a way, or haven't figured out a way to do this properly, to put a tarp over the top, or for shade cloth, or they don't want to spend more money to get the right equipment. You know, I understand you can't bring in a 45-foot articulating lift on every site to try and pull tarps over. So then get a single man lift. Yes, it takes longer. Yes, you have to push it around. Yes, it's a pain in the ass, but at the end of the day, that's what it takes to get the job done safely. That's what you need to do. But the guys that are walking the beams, that are throwing shade cloths over, I mean, I said something to somebody the other day on Instagram, and I saw it, and I said, hey, maybe we shouldn't be walking on the tent tops now. You know, maybe you guys should figure out a different way. Or there was another one on there, and I said, hey, might want to look at getting hard hats as these beams are flying over these guys. And I think a lot of that just comes from our experience. I mean, your experiences, my experiences. I've seen guys get hit in the head and had to go to the hospital because a purlin come down and cut their head open. So it's not because we're not wanting to do it.
It shouldn't be our experience. It should be common sense at this point.
Yeah.
A guy got bashed on.
It should be natural.
Yeah, a guy got bashed on Facebook because they were wearing a hard hat when his crew was putting up a 20x20, and people were bashing him for it. And I'm like,
because you have your keyboard warriors out there who just don't get it and they don't understand it, and then those are the people that are moving really fast now, and those are the people that don't care because they're just trying to make a buck. You know, this whole topic, and we'll jump into another one here. This whole topic that we were talking about in our conversation this morning on Facebook over this picture I saw last night on Instagram of this floor. I won't name the company, but it is literally a stick build floor, and by stick build, it is a plywood floor with 4x underneath. Now, okay, I get that we do those same floors. Everybody does those same floors around the country, right? You do not take a plywood floor with 4x and take it from 0 grade to 3.5 foot tall in the air and then shim it up with tons of shims. Just blocks, 4x blocks stacked all the way up. I mean, it'd been 3-4 foot tall, and then taking 6-inch pieces of plywood and screwing them to the side so that the 4x don't move. They make an engineered product now. There are several different engineered products out there. I mean, the TF2100 is one of the most well-known products. It's one of the most expensive products I get, but there's knockoffs and there's everything else of that style of floor out there. It is an engineered floor, and I had to explain this to a planner last night when she sent it to me, and we started talking about it, and she was like, I don't get it. And I just told her, I was like, look, at the end of the day, that might get the job done, but you're looking at a cost savings here is all you're looking at. You're not looking at the overall effect on if somebody gets killed or somebody gets hurt. If this floor collapses, I mean, all I could think about is you get 200 people, 300 people on that floor, and it starts shifting sideways, it's going to fall down. And with a TF floor, you're going to stake it, you're going to anchor it, and it's also engineered. I mean, it's common sense that it is engineered flooring, and that is why it is able to go from 0 to 3 foot tall. You can't be doing what they're doing. And then I finally went straight to the planner that posted it, because I saw the tent company that was on there, and we won't name that tent company, but if you're listening to this, do better. I went straight to the planner, and the planner said, well, it saved the customer $30,000 versus what the other prices were. Okay, so $30,000 to risk how many people's lives? Where are you all at with that?
Yeah, I agree. I think that's something that, and when you sent me that, it was kind of like, it flashed me back to like 15 years ago when we used to do stuff like that, way before engineered floor came out and all that. But you're right, like that is, and unfortunately it takes something to happen to make something happen, right? So who knows, that event could go off without a hitch, nothing could go wrong, all that. But just to know that that's what's underneath, and we know that is scary, and that is worrisome, and
it's scary that you're willing to post that, though.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't post it.
They didn't repost it, that's for damn sure.
The planner posted it, so the planner put them on blast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but the planner's the one that's okaying, then the planner's responsible for all of that.
Yeah.
So the question is, should we be educating the planner versus the tent company instead? Or do we need to change our education models here?
Maybe.
Yeah, so I actually went straight to that planner and asked, they said that they would be in Nashville in the coming weeks, and I asked for a coffee, lunch, or drinks meeting, and that's going to kind of be my thing. I'm not trying to sell you. I'd love to learn your business if you're in my area or wherever you want to take us. But my comment to them was, I know you have good vendors with you, but if you'd like to go get drinks, just sit down and talk. I'd love to try and educate you a little bit on this and tell you my standpoint on this. and see if there's anything that we can do for you. But also just all around, just give you the education. And Kyle, you're right. Maybe we're going in the right way with these tech companies, because I mean, they're the ones that are okaying it and saying that it's okay. But I think we also need to educate some of these planners, because in the planner that I was talking to that sent me this originally, she said that she sent it to her planner friends that have a group text all over the country. And they were like, oh yeah, we've seen that before. We do that a lot. And now I'm just like mind blown that there's this many people out there doing that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
with no knowledge.
That's the issue, and the planners don't know any different, or they think it's okay because some tent company who they trust, because 90% of the time, Nate, the planners you work with, the planners I've worked with, they trust you, they trust me.
Right.
So if I tell them, yeah, this is how it's done, yeah, everyone does it this way, they're going to believe what we say.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because they don't know any different. So I think as an industry, yeah, we should start educating planners or inviting them to, local events for any association, just to get some education out there. And hopefully the Safe Tenting Initiative, we can have one-sheeters on safety eventually that you can give to someone, say, yeah, my price is higher, but this is why.
Yeah. You're getting qualified, certified installations, and using the right products, using the right things, and there shouldn't be a worry about what's going to be either below your tent or above it, right? Like, we are doing all the right things to make that happen. And I think one of the things too is working with the code officials and the fire departments and all that, and understanding what they ask for, and for us to meet that at a certain degree and work with them on that.
Well, there was, Nate, you'll like this. I don't have pictures of it, but I got a phone call and a guy FaceTimed me this. They did a 15 or 20 meter on a Bill Jack's floor. They anchored, there was anchors on the first two legs, so the bracing bay, and then the other ones were just lag bolted into the Bill Jacks, and that was it. That was the only thing holding the tent down.
So just 3/4 inch plywood.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
So yeah, and I mean, it's all that.
At that point there, you at that point with the fire marshals and stuff. Do you want to go in a little bit about what you had encountered this week, and how you talked about how you wanted to educate your fire marshal, or get with your fire marshals and see what the standard needs to be?
Yeah, definitely. This week we got last week we ended up getting a little, I don't want to say slap on the wrist, but a kind of more of a question of these 3-way plug connectors. People call them cube taps, triple taps, whatever it may be, that go on the end of extension cord and plug in. I mean, we all use it for Christmas lights at our house, whatever it may be. They're a simple, easy way to get 3-way connection to daisy chain your lighting or whatever it may be. So fire here in the Sacramento area asked us, hey, we don't like these. These aren't what we approve, all that good stuff. And, I countered and said, show me the code, show me what it says. So, we can do the right thing, but also understand, like, is this you just being a fire marshal, or is this you, actually interpreting the code as it's written out to be? So what me and my brother came up with is that, next month we're going to set up 2 to 3 different high peak tents with 2 to 3 different ways of connecting power, whether it be with the GFIA, whether it be with the 3-way, a 3-way on an extension cord, whatever it may be. Then we'll invite the fire to look at it and say, which one do you approve? And which one is the one we need to go forward with? And then we can do that so that we understand what they're asking, and then we can go forward. That way our crews aren't getting stopped. We're not getting stopped from getting a permit over a $3 3-way. You know what I mean? Like, what's this way we can do that? So sometimes it does take working with your fire officials and consistency, right? Like, all of our exit signs look the same. All of our fire extinguishers look the same. All of our no smoking signs look the same. We're not running to different stores and grabbing stuff and it looking like we're zip tying things to, make it work. All of our stuff is all cohesive in how it goes up and down, color coordinated, all that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What I will say about that, Kevin, is we just got a job in town because the customer called the fire marshal because they needed some questions about permitting for the job, the whole job overall. And they said, hey, we're looking for a tent company. And the fire marshal said, call LNA because they do it right.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have relationships like that with the fire officials, there are times where it's in your benefit
Yeah.
because they want to have the easy inspection. They want to show up and go, oh, Made in the Shade did this, Chattanooga did this. Oh, I know it. We're good.
Yeah.
The other,
They do their stuff.
But the other issue is too, they have no idea what they're technically doing with tents, and that's where we have to educate them. You know, I went through this 15 years ago or more. I can't remember exactly when. It was probably more than 15 years ago with Terry Bryant when we all went to Kentucky and tried to pitch the codes and get that all approved for the model codes and everything. And Kentucky was the first one to do that. And now it's becoming. Now, when I'm going to permit in Kentucky, there was one guy. That guy died. Okay, so now nobody knows what they're doing in Kentucky. Well, that goes for the whole rest of the United States. Now, there might be a select few, but I would have to say there's probably 2 to 3% of the fire marshals or safety officials that actually know what the safe standard is or what the codes are or anything like that. So, like I was talking with Ian Goff the other day, he's having to get some engineering for pole tents and submit those to Kentucky to get model codes and things like that and engineer pole tent stuff. So it's almost coming full circle again, 15 years or more later, that we need to, now that maybe Brian Bold is jumping into ARA over here for the safe tenting, maybe that's something that he needs to start looking into as well, is doing a little bit of boot camp stuff with planners, with officials, fire marshals, everybody, and start bringing people together in different areas. You know, whether we do it in a region and then we find people from Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, whatever, bring them into regions and invite these people to these boot camps. I know it might cost some money, but at the end of the day, if we can get everybody on board a little bit to educate them, and then if we can then do the same thing for the planners. Let's go ahead and invite these planners to some of these places and have a little bit of a show, kind of like, you know, the ARA show on a smaller scale with classes, and do some good networking and you know, things like that. But bring everybody together to really teach them and educate them, and not just educate the industry, because it's not just us that needs the education.
Well, and we're not doing it because we want more work. We want to see everyone do a good job, do it safely, and go home at the end of the day. Whether that's the guests at the wedding, the guys doing the installation, or the guys taking the installation down. None of us want to see any tent company in the national news, because it only hurts all of us. So we need to just make sure that everyone tries to keep their own name out of the news. That's the goal here.
I can promise you that we wouldn't be doing this podcast with everything else we have going on with our normal lives at home and at work if it wasn't because we were passionate about seeing the industry succeed as well as our businesses succeed. And so that's why we're preaching this right now. And it's not just for our paycheck, but just to preach out there, this is what we need, and this is what we need people to see.
Yeah. And Nate, kind of going off of what you were just discussing, you know, we need to do this. We need to work with the planners, fire officials, whatever, you know, all parties involved, right? One of the things that's really exciting that we're going to be doing at the ATA 10 Expo in January is we're going to be actually having an AHJ course, which is called, an AHJ is an authority heavy jurisdiction. So whether it's a fire code official, building official, whoever is inspecting your tent, we're actually going to be educating them on what tenting is, what it looks like, what's a proper install, what's not, you know, with manufacturers, with some rental people and all that. So we're opening it up so that these fire people can go and understand, because some of them, they go, I don't know what the heck a tent is. I don't know what, you know, is this a pop-up? You know, how does this work? What are these cablings for? Why is there no stake in that hole? There's so many questions that come up from them. So that's one of the exciting things going forward. And, you know, we're really working also on working with fire officials to come up with an inspection sheet that has what we think is important and what they have is important, and getting between the two and coming up with one so that it's more of a fluid thing, instead of, oh, today I'm going to pick on your 3-ways, but tomorrow I'm going to pick on your stakes, and then the next day I'm going to pick on your straps. Yeah. So, and then, you know, I'm going to pick on your F number on your flame certification, you know, and, oh, it's expired. Well, that's too bad for you. The vinyl people didn't renew it, and all those good things. So we're really working at ATA with those groups, and we've made some really good friends that are in these organizations and are doing these conferences and all that we are now trying to get involved in too. So that it just makes it, it's a lot of work on the front end, but it's going to make it simple and easier for everyone all around.
Sometimes
Totally.
people think that the code official or the fire marshal is like the boogeyman. They don't want to talk to them. They don't want to ask questions. They don't want to, draw attention to themselves. But we're going to have to eventually. That's just it's going to be.
Yeah.
Well, I think everybody's flown under the radar for so long, and it's kind of like it's as the saying goes, you ask for forgiveness, right? Then permission, and so that's always been, along with the theory of what did Kevin say this morning? That's the way we've always done it. Well, that's not the way we're doing it anymore. Damn it! Put your foot down and let's get moving forward in the right direction. Let's get this industry back where it needs to go. And bring everybody along with us. I mean, it was like Dan Hook said. I mean, I forgot the number that he threw out there of people. I think he said 20,000 or something rental people out there, or our industry, the 10 people. And it's like, that's a crazy low number to me. And if we can grow this thing and show that it's a badass niche business to be in, along with bringing on the safety people, we are legit, but we're making this way more legit now than it's ever been, and we just got to keep moving in that direction. But this shit we're seeing on social media, I'm sorry for all the cussing today, but I'm just fired up about it. This stuff that we're seeing on social media over the past 24, 48 hours, you guys got to get this stuff figured out. You can't keep doing this. I mean, you're not hurting yourself, you're hurting the industry, and that's what my point of this is.
I got one for you guys. We had somebody call in for an inquiry for a 7 or 8 month rental at a elementary school, and they get these tents every year, and I don't know whether this company's around anymore or what's going on. They asked for a 20 by 30 and a 20 by 35, so it's underneath the 400 square foot or whatever, it's underneath where permitting and fire needs to come into place. They also said, oh yeah, we need to use water weights and all these requests, and I'm like, okay, company, whoever did it before, they flew under the radar. They just did what they could. It's at a school. There's kids under this thing. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that is cutting corners right there. And we are like, here's what we can do. We're gonna either block it or anchor it, whatever you want to do. But that waterway is not going to be an option at this point.
Well, now you got me fired up, Kevin, when you brought up that.
Yeah.
Facebook, there was a post, the guy was like, I can't stake in concrete. And one guy commented, don't listen to everyone here who's going to say you have to use concrete. You could use water barrels. And I just responded, there's science behind why everyone's going to say you should use concrete. And he totally dismissed it. And he was like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, okay, you know what? If that's your opinion, but there's science and there's studies that have gone into
Well, now you can use water barrels. But it takes quadruple the amount of water as it does concrete. So you're doing yourself a disservice to use the water because of the amount you have to use. And at the end of the day, you could have just done it with a block.
Yeah.
Right. The block is going to be 500 pounds today, tomorrow, and into the future. That water weight's going to be 500 pounds, and then it's going to go to 498 within the first 30 minutes. It's going to start evaporating and losing its thing. And you're right. There are ways. There are ballasts out there that are water ballasts that are engineered specifically made for tenting that you can use. That is not the problem. It's the drums with the rope and all those kind of things, and it's just shouldn't be your first option.
Well, and now let's also hit too, like, just saying that you're using concrete is not the way to go either. I mean, now that we're seeing these, there's another company that posted another picture that we got circling here that it's I'd say that's probably a 6 meter structure, right? Yeah, it's 6 meter structure, and they bought Home Depot buckets and filled them with concrete. And I'm guessing that's concrete in there, but I can't tell from the picture. It might be sand for all I know. But you're putting Home Depot buckets on the side of your tent legs it looks like a 3 meter leg, 6 meter, 3 meter bays, 3 meter tall leg, and you're putting these 5-gallon buckets of whatever is in there, maybe concrete in there. That's not it. Now let's go back to the ballasting again. I mean, it's the same damn thing as we're talking about engineered floors and everything else. It's safety. Mm-hmm. It's going to blow away. It'll kill somebody. I mean, I saw that tent many, many, many years ago that I think it was a 30 or 40 meter, and it just picked the damn thing up and flipped it on its head, and then because it wasn't properly done. So it's just like, what are we doing? Move forward and quit being the fastest and the cheapest guy. Do the best quality work for the price that it needs to be, and keep putting that product out there. I can guarantee you will get business. It's not about your numbers anymore, and it can't be about the numbers. These big companies out there, a lot of them are just looking at their bottom line for the year, not the per job cost, and it's just going to affect everybody over time. And I mean, if you want to get in, make a buck, and get out faster so we don't have to deal with all your issues you're causing for our industry. Or come in here and help out and make this industry better, and then you can get the hell out. But don't ruin it for us and then try and get the hell out.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I think my rant's over for the day now. I got that all out of there.
The bitterness of poor quality, the bitterness of poor quality long remains after the sweetness of low prices is forgotten.
Yes, sir. That's it. And we're going to end on that as well. So I appreciate you guys coming on today. Kyle, Kevin, it's always good to see you guys. And
always good to see you.
Episode of Under the Vinyl. As always, though, can't forget, please like, subscribe, and rate us on any platforms that you can find, that you find us on. It helps us a ton, and we want to keep getting this stuff out there, not just for our own likes and things like that, but for this industry as well as a whole, to make it known and really get our voices heard out there. So thank you again, and this has been another episode of Under the Vinyl.
Stay safe, guys.